Be it now proclaimed by call of culture and nautilus throughout the latitudes and longitudes of our oceanic domain, that we, Neptune, ruler of the seas, seven seas, king of the secret currents, lord of the boundless waves, master of the tides, high constable of the coral caverns and utmost recesses of the deep, do humbly sanction and affirm that this most noble cross of the equator is bestowed on me, just a humble seafarer, Frederick Francis. Line crossing is a very significant event for a seafarer because the equator separates the north and southern hemisphere. So when we cross it, we would bring the greenhorns to a ceremony, rite of passage, but it's a very important ceremony that doesn't mock the person but shows them the tradition of the freedom of the seven seas. And when they go through it, they have that. And I can tell you, even the girls who go through that ceremony, they really love it because it brings the nostalgic sea into their veins and it makes them feel really more of a seafarer and someone who can say, yes, I've crossed the equator and I'm a seafarer. I've been with maritime education for almost 26 years now. I engage many students, kids, even preschoolers. But the very disappointing thing I get is many of our youths are telling me that Singapore has no culture, Singapore has no history, Singapore is just artificial and we follow the rest. And that actually saddens me because we do have, but perhaps we have not done enough to let them know what we have. Because we have the Singapore story. And while we may not have started calling ourselves the little red dot, that was Indonesia who told us that, but we like it. We like to be the prejudiced, but we will always stand up and show that we want to be counted, we want our voice to be heard. So we want to tell the youth we have a culture. And while we are writing the past, we want them to write the present that will be the future. And we have that culture because culture is part of us. And these artifacts are not about tangible stuff. It is a part of how Singapore grew from the sea. And knowing your foundation gives you a sense of belonging and your culture. Even when I went out to sea as a cadet, it took me 9 years before I was given freedom of the seven seas, where I could really consider myself as a seafarer. And not about the day I stepped at sea, but the years that happened. So to me, I look at it, when will I cross the real equator, where I will sight land, and the land that I land on will be the home of all these treasures. It's a tough journey. The wind is not always behind me. The currents are not always with me. At times I'm going against it. But I'm not worried because each day I can still have a smile and know there are many people who will be there to support this, and there will be a home for all this.